Hey guys, it's me Liv. Welcome back to another video using the April box. This time I'm mostly going to focus on masking using the stamp set called Me Time. So what I'm first going to work on is showing you how you don't necessarily have to cut things out. You can mask it all. It just takes a little bit more patience in understanding which order the stamps need to go in. Now, I'm a little late to the mini slimline craze, so that is the size that I'm going to be working with. So if you're wondering what that is, this is a 3x6 piece of paper, and then I'm going to work with the arrangement that I want using the stamps from the set. What's really great with working with a stamp set that has a imagery of background images, it is so easy to start this process and to do this type of scene here. Initially, I was going to go in this order, and then I decided I'm going to switch it around just a little bit and actually put the plant on the other side and move the books over when I'm doing it. Now, when you start doing the stamping, now as you begin your stamping with masking, you want to make sure that you stamp with the most forward image being put down first. So that is actually going to be the girl who is lying across the couch. Then you will put the other images afterwards so that you're actually layering backwards in regards to masking. Hopefully that makes sense, but you'll see what I'm talking about here. I am actually going to be using my Copic markers to do some coloring, so I am using an alcohol marker, Safe ink, which is Memento ink. So the first image is going to be this girl who I'm going to be putting down. So usually if I want my image to be really crisp, I usually stamp at least three times to make sure that it really stands out. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks right now. Then I'm going to take a scrap piece of copy paper that I usually have on the side, and I'm going to go ahead and actually stamp this image on top. This is because I need to create a mask. You know, you can get masking papers and do all of that. For me, regular old copy paper, since this is going to usually be just something that needs to cover on top, is what I use. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim out that image so that I can place it on top. I use washi tape to hold it down. And now my forward-facing image is going to be masked off. Next, I'm going to be moving on to the couch and to go ahead and place that down. So as I'm just trying to make sure that her placement looks well, I am again going to come in with some Memento ink, but this time I'm going to be using a very light color. This one is called London Fog. It's just because I don't want it to be such harsh lines when it comes to the sofa. So again, same as before, I usually stamp at least 2 or 3 times to make sure it gets in. One of the things I find is when you're close to the piece that has that mask on top, you have to put a little bit more pressure to make sure that there isn't any type of stamping that did not go through. So now that I have that, I'm going to do the same thing, stamp out the couch so that I can create a mask for that. Now here's the part where I decided I'm going to go ahead and change up the order I initially started with, and I am going to go and put the plant on this side. Now again, I am putting the books that I initially planned out on the other side of the sofa, and then I will end up putting the sentiment on the top. Now for the books, I'm using the black Memento because I will be coloring those in. Those are colorable. And then actually for the plant, I am using Memento ink, but I am using a green base one that I have so that it has a little more seamless lines in it. Now, if you are loving all the inspiration that you are seeing this month from our fantastic design team, be sure to go over to the Not Too Shabby shop. Each month, she's going to be releasing a box set. It's going to have stamps, papers, as well as ephemera in it. All of these are original stamps that are only available at Not Too Shabby shop. And as you can see, there are so many different ways to create with these. So once I have all of that down, I'm going to be moving on to a little bit of stenciling and then some coloring. Now I have left my masks on so that I don't end up ruining the girl or the sofa here. I am taking out a stencil from my stash, using some of my distress inks to create like a wallpaper pattern behind her is what my thought here was with it. So as I go ahead, I'm just going to really quickly fill in the background area of this card so that it can create that image. And then I'm going to move on to the floor area in a different stencil background. This is a simple and quick way to use your stencils and also create designs within your room. If you're someone like me who's not necessarily a great drawer, I've seen so many awesome videos with people who like create cabinets and they draw the floors and all of that. Now, I could do like a wood plank floor, but after that, I'm not that savvy. So stencils is the way to go for me. Now, one trick that I did pick up is just by putting those two little beams, you feel like you separated the wall from the floor. I did use my Copic marker. I'm sorry, I ended up cutting a little bit of that out in my editing, but it was just really a simple 2 lines to create the vision of a divide between the wall and the floor. Now I'm going to use this stencil that reminds me of like a brick pattern because I thought that that would be cool for the flooring area. This would have been cool actually for the top as well. This is where you can just get creative with what you're doing. So now that I've gone ahead, I'm just going to ink this up. Now, I didn't make a mask for the plant, so that's why you see I'm being so careful around it because I'm trying not to get it in there, and I'm trying to go around it, nor did I make a mask for the book, just because, you know, got a little lazy. But you could also make the mask, and then you can go all out with doing your stenciling if you choose to. Now, see how cool and simple that was, just to be incorporating some stencils into your card. This is actually not going to... In this particular card, am I going to use any pattern paper because I've created the design all through my masking. Now I'm going to move on to my Copic coloring. Again, I'm not one who feels that I'm an expert at my coloring, so I'm going to speed this up just a tad bit, just so you can see what I'm doing here with the coloring. Now, whenever I color scan in order to get a little bit of depth, I do try to have at least 3 different colors in there, as well as I tend to use 2 to 3 different colors for a darker shade and a lighter shade in my Copics, just to give the effect of some shadowing here. I am trying to keep in a similar color scheme as to what I have going on with my Distress inks, so keeping it more on that warm side so that it all kind of melts together. Now, if you're anything like me, every once in a while you end up getting some type of sticky finger effect in there and staining it, which looks like it did happen with the red Distress ink on the back of the sofa, which is driving me just a tad bit crazy. So what I decided to do was to go ahead and fill that in with making like another plant kind of scheme back there because I just wanted to cover that piece up. I also decided to add her cell phone on the floor to cover up a slight area that I had with my black ink. And now for the final step, I'm just going to go ahead and mount this onto some cardstock, and then my card is done. So again, if you're doing a mini slimline card, I just cut this piece of paper at 6 by 6, folded it on the 3-inch line, and that is pretty much the format for a mini slimline card, as they call it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to go check out all the fantastic products, as well as the April box that is available at the Not Too Shabby Shop. Hope everyone has a great day. Take care, guys. Bye.